Welcome to this week's Economic Vitality Report for data through June 30th. And what we're showing here today is possible accommodations. And if you take a look here, you can see our peak was June 2nd, where we had 14.8% of the trades signaled an accommodation. And that's fallen down to 14.69. And so you can see that as we go through COVID, fewer consumers are requesting and then receiving these accommodations. Now, if we break it into different asset classes, let's just take a look at mortgage here. You can see the mortgage peak was June 9th at 9.38%, down to 8.5%. And it's been steady the last 3 weeks, but you can see the mix shift here, right? So you can see here that there's fewer that are coded as disaster, and there are more that are coded as forbearance. Now, what's interesting is that if you look at two different trade types, and I'm going to start with the consumer finance installment lending. If you look at this, as you go through the start of COVID in the beginning of April, you have 3% or so are getting accommodations, and then it continues to rise, and it actually keeps rising, right? And so it's at 8.3%. It's gone down to 8.02%. But this is really interesting, right? Because what you're seeing here is that consumers are tapping into the accommodations that are possible to them still for consumer finance installment. And we're also seeing that in auto trades as well. So if I take a look at auto trades here, you can see that, again, you had about 5% on May 5th, but now we're up to 7.3% by June 30th. And so what's important here is that we have seen in our historical analyses, when we looked at prior natural disasters, consumers that ask for accommodations later than sooner tend to be higher risk. So we're going to watch these portfolios over the next couple of weeks, see how this plays out as we get more data.